The New York Giants are benching Tommy DeVito. DeVito sanity is done, man. It's done against the Philadelphia Eagles. They took him out. They put Tyrod back in there, and I was really upset about it. Because at this point, what the hell are you playing for? You have no playoff chances. You're pretty much tanking for draft position at this point. Brian Daboll said they benched Tommy DeVito and ended DeVito's sanity because they needed a spark on offense. Bruh, Tommy DeVito wasn't the reason why your offense couldn't do anything against Philadelphia. Your offense just sucks. Your offensive line sucks. Your receivers suck. Like, they really signed Paris Campbell in free agency and thought that this dude was going to be a difference maker when he was coming off his best season in 4 to 5 years that he's been in the league? You might as well keep Tommy DeVito out there. The team likes him. The team rallies behind him. He was a good story. Why are you throwing Tyrod Taylor back in there? We know what this dude has. We still don't know what Tommy DeVito is. Why are these coaches benching young quarterbacks that have somewhat of a little bit of promise when their season is over? What are you playing for? Pride and respect? I mean, you lost all the pride and respect that you had when your season got ended weeks ago. So why the hell are you trying to win now the last 2 games of the season? Like, you might as well continue to throw Tommy DeVito back out there and allow him to figure it out. At one point, he had you on a 3-game winning streak. And you had a little bit of a reason, if you were a Giants fan, to tune into the Giants games because of Tommy DeVito. He was the only interesting storyline about the Giants. I didn't care about anybody else on this team. Like, when I started watching Giants games, it was 4 weeks ago because I wanted to see DeVito's sanity. Tommy DeVito, he had that 3-touchdown game against the Commanders. He had that game-winning drive that put the Giants in field goal range to beat the Packers on Monday Night Football. And then after that, he kind of came back down to earth, but he didn't play terribly enough where you have to bench him. He struggled against the Saints, but majority of solid to barely above average quarterbacks struggle against the Saints. They got a great defense. Of course he was going to struggle in that game. And against the Philadelphia Eagles, it was a complete mismatch. Like, Tyrod Taylor, yeah, he got you a couple of points, but this offense has looked way better under Tommy DeVito than what it's looked under any of these other quarterbacks. The dude was an undrafted rookie free agent. He's going to have some rookie growing pains. That's just what comes with having a young quarterback. Brian Daboll, what's the reason for making this decision to go back to Tyrod? What are you gaining out of this? Like, I want to see what Tommy DeVito has. Do you not want to see if Tommy DeVito could potentially be a serviceable quarterback if Daniel Jones fizzles out again next season? Like, what the hell are the New York Giants thinking when it just comes to their roster construction and their personnel moves? Their free agency signings that they made last offseason, most of them didn't work out. They traded for Darren Waller. He got injured. The only bright spot has been Jalen Hyatt. That's about it. Like, benching Tommy DeVito doesn't really give the offense a spark. All it does is give you a different quarterback back there, and a quarterback that wasn't even able to start over Tommy DeVito in the first place. You roll with Tommy DeVito over Tyrod for a reason. Like, what the hell is wrong with Brian Daboll? Is he losing it down there in New York? Like, do we need to go down there and have a little bit of an intermission with Brian Daboll? Do we need to have a therapy session with this dude? Because he looks like he's going through it. Honestly, like, what are we doing here? Why are we benching Tommy DeVito for Tyrod Taylor? We need to see what this young man has. DeVito's sanity can't end this soon, man. You got 2 more weeks left. You could have gave us 2 more weeks of DeVito's sanity, Brian Daboll, and you robbed us of that. You robbed us of the only reason to tune in the Giants games. I'm not watching a single Giants game for the rest of the year because there's no reason to watch this team now. You're boring as hell. You can't move the ball on offense. You can't run the ball with Saquon that effectively. I mean, why are we watching the Giants anymore? Even if you're a Giants fan, why are you watching? The season is over, man. You just ended DeVito's sanity when this dude has 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the year. Like, yeah, he had a couple of bad games, but he's an undrafted rookie free agent. Let him work out the growing pains. Let him work out the kinks. Shit, he's looked better than Daniel Jones this season. I didn't see Daniel Jones getting benched, did I? Did y'all one time this season see Daniel Jones get benched? Because I didn't. If there's anybody who should have gotten benched and should have gotten the plug pool, it should have been Daniel Jones. But you can't do that because you're paying him so much money, though. Tommy DeVito should still be the starting quarterback for the Giants. Let this man go out there and play. DeVito's sanity must live on. Well, I guess not anymore because we've been robbed of that for Brian Daboll. Curse Brian Daboll for this decision, man. Like, what the hell? And you want to know another decision that has me scratch my head going, what the hell is wrong? What the hell is wrong with Ron Rivera benching Sam Howell? Like, Sam Howell has been really bad the last month. From this past week to when they played against the New York Giants, this dude has thrown 2 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He has not looked good, but what's the point of benching him at this point? What the hell are you getting throwing Jacoby Brissett out there, man? We need to see what Sam Howell has. This is his first season as a full-time starter. Like, yeah, he's played bad, but when you're a young quarterback, you're going to have these growing pains, man. And based on how well Sam Howell has played for the majority of this year prior to the last month or so, he's looked like a pretty solid quarterback. So based on how he's played for the majority of this year, why would you just bench him for the last 2 games of the season? You're playing for nothing. What do you get benching Sam Howell starting Jacoby Brissett? What are you playing for? Pride and respect? I mean, Ron Rivera, you lost all the respect from the organization and the fan base like 2 months ago. Hell, you probably lost all the respect from the Commanders fan base before the season even started. Nobody believed in you. You hire Eric Bieniemy. He's been a disaster. The offensive line hasn't done Sam Howell no favors. Sam Howell was running for his life against the New York Jets last week. Yeah, it looked really ugly when he got benched. He had 2 interceptions. He was 6-22. Like, yeah, he kind of had to go on the bench and rethink some things, but it's no reason to not throw him back out there. What are you playing for now? You got nothing to play for. Ron Rivera, you're about to get fired. The least you can do is help out this organization and give them a couple of more games to figure out just what they have in Sam Howell. Like, do these head coaches have brains? Like, seriously, I'm not trying to be funny about this. I'm being dead serious. I really question if these head coaches have common sense. Like, I don't know why it's called common sense, but yet everybody acts like they don't have it. Common sense would tell you that your season's over, you're about to lose your job, you need to go out there and throw Sam Howell and see what he can do. He got 2 more games left. Like 2 more bad games isn't going to change anything. It's not like all of a sudden Jacoby Brissett's going to come in and lit a spark under this organization. You're going to save your job and you're going to all of a sudden just magically get into the playoffs. The season's done. It's over. And if anything, you should want to have Sam Howell out there if he doesn't show any improvement playing trash, because that's going to increase your draft position. So potentially you can put yourself in a spot where you can get a Jaden Daniels or a Michael Penix or a Drake May, or maybe trade up and get Caleb Williams. There was incentive to keep Sam Howell out there and allow him to continue to struggle, because if he continues to struggle, it's still a win-win situation for you anyway. You can see if he can work it out and get over the growing pains, or he's going to be stinky enough to put you in a good spot to get a new quarterback. Like, what? Sam Howell has been pretty solid this year. And I'm a little bit biased about Sam Howell. Yes, I is, because he's been my starting quarterback on the majority of my fantasy teams this year, and he's produced at a pretty high level for me in fantasy football. And I know that fantasy football isn't real life football technically, but if you can be a serviceable fantasy football quarterback, then you can at least be a somewhat decent quarterback in real life. Hell, Jameis Winston, for all the interceptions he threw, at least he could come back and throw you a touchdown. Sam Howell in this case hasn't been that great, but it's not all his fault why the Commanders stink. Eric Bieniemy is a terrible play caller. Like, I knew what it was with Eric Bieniemy when I watched the Commanders get their ass beat on Thanksgiving. And they were in 4th and 1, 3rd and 1 situations several times in that game. And neither one of those times did they opt for the tush push. Everybody else in the NFL is doing the tush push. You're running Sam Howell with the Zion quarterback runs in the red zone, but 4th and 1, 3rd and inches comes along and you just don't want to call the tush push. Like, Eric Bieniemy, I've seen some people say that he should get some head coaching interviews. Like, what the hell are you watching? Like, seriously, it's a dumpster fire down there in Washington. I don't know what city they play in, But it doesn't really matter because the circus is in town. It's been in town ever since they first hired Ron Rivera. After that first season when they had that crazy playoff run, when they had a losing record, won that weak division with Alex Smith, who damn near lost his leg, they've been irrelevant ever since. Like, the circus has been in town ever since Ron Rivera's second season with this organization. I'm just wondering, when are the Commanders branch finally going to say enough is enough and kick this dude to the curb and get this circus out of the city, man? Like, does this make any sense to y'all? Like, am I tripping? Y'all let me know down in the comment section down below if I'm not looking at this correctly. Jacoby Brissett is a veteran QB. He's been in this league for a couple of years now. This dude is a solid backup. Fringe starter if you need one. Why the hell is he out there for the final 2 games when we still need to see more out of Sam Howell? Sam Howell was top 5 in passing yards and touchdowns at one point. I know it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And Sam Howell, he's not even going to be able to cross the finish line because he's going to be on the sideline holding that clipboard with that damn Gatorade in one of his other hands. But I mean, you're playing for nothing. You're playing for pride and respect, and you don't have any if you're Ron Rivera at this point. Hell, I don't even know what the point is of even trying to throw Jacoby Brissett out there and trying to win games, bruh. Like, just let Sam Howell go out there, continue to throw picks, and continue to allow you to lose so you can do this organization a favor before you get fired and before you get that pink slip on your day off and give Washington at least the blessing of having the opportunity to draft the franchise quarterback. That's the least you can do if you're Ron Rivera. You don't let this franchise down for so many years. The least you can do is that. At least give them a high draft pick to land their next successor at the QB position, since you couldn't do it yourself. Like, this is embarrassing, bro. Like, I don't get why Tommy DeVito's benched and why Sam Howell are benched when 2 of these teams aren't playing for anything. Like, these are some really head-scratching moves that make absolutely 0 sense to me, man. I'll be glad when Ron Rivera's out of town in Washington. Really don't get this decision. You can say he's played so bad that you have to bench him, but why? He's still a young quarterback, and you're only playing for draft positioning at this point. When you win, it's still a loss, because all a win does is make you lower on the draft rankings, give you lower positioning in the draft. Like, wow, I can't believe the benchings that are taking place right now with teams that are competing for absolutely nothing. Nothing at all, man.